What did you think of the ceremony that they hold? What did it mean for you?
The way they honor different eras. And they did leave out one,
Which?
the I.D.F.
Well, you mean Israeli Defense Forces, I.A.F.? Yeah. Well, but should they? Should the I.D.F. be honored or recognized at an American Memorial Day?
Since we're partners with Israel, I think so.
We're allies.
Yeah.
And there are here probably some Israeli Americans who live here today. Do you know any Israeli Americans in the valley?
Sure.
Yeah.
I know one. He went over and served 2 years in the I.D.F.
Is he Israeli by birth?
No,
He's an American who volunteered?
American Jew. When he was younger, flew over and enlisted in the I.D.F. for 2 years.
What did he do in the service?
I don't really know.
Do you think he was crazy to do that?
I might have done it because I'm what you call a latter-day Jew.
How do you mean?
I grew up with no religion probably through the 3rd grade. And then through circumstances, I spent 2 years with my grandparents up in Washington State on the Canadian border, and they were very strict Christians.
Okay.
So having no religious experiences, I was taken to church and Sunday school and brought up on the Bible. And then as I got older and I started dating, whatever the girl I was dating, I was that religion. So I went to church with them, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I married my wife, who thought she was marrying a goy. And we're going to go to Israel 2013. And we'd been going to synagogue then for 10, 12 years. And I talking to a distant cousin, and I was thinking about converting.
Converting to Judaism.
Yeah. And she says, what are you talking about? Didn't you know that Grummy and Grumpy, when they came from Poland, migrated from Poland, they were Jewish, they were Polish Jews.
Your grandparents were Jewish?
My mom's side.
Yeah.
My mom, I don't think she even knew, because they converted to Protestant, whatever,
For convenience, for expedience.
Well, he was working for the railroad. And so I feel like Moses, who was raised, Egyptian, and found out he was a prince, Egyptian prince. He found out later that something's not right here, And so he didn't know he was Jewish or Hebrew,
Sure, yeah. So the I.D.F. or the I.A.F. to you seems only natural.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the need for America to support Israel in the Middle East?
100%.
How come?
They need it.
Because of the forces amassed against them?
That and internal stuff. Like one of the biggest threats in America is homeland terrorism.
Domestic terrorism.
Domestic terrorism
Okay.
is one of the biggest threats, I think, in America today.
And Iran is behind a lot of that.
I believe so.
Well, it's known, it's recognized. They have sleeper cells here that the West is marbled with, and so regime change there could make us safer. Is that what you're saying? If we could change it
would definitely help.
would help.
But a while back, I get email. I'm on it, and how many tunnels they'd recently found, like 50 or something.
Terror tunnels from Lebanon
Yeah.
for an invasion of northern Israel?
Yep.
Yeah.
All Muslims are not terrorists,
Right. But?
nor are all Lebanese
Yeah.
terrorists.
Right.
You just got those little, it's like a cancer here and there that you
Yeah.
got to isolate. And
So we have now the Israeli armaments are helping America. America's putting them on the aircraft carriers and on the ships. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
I was on a cruise ship some years back, and there was a Israeli, two Israeli women that were scuba divers. And before we went out, each time they had to go and swim the hull, check for mines.
Who would mine the Caribbean?
You don't know. Who would bring a loaded small boat with explosives and pull it right next to the Stennis,
Right.
and right through a bunk area where this, I forgot how many, 6 or 8 sailors just lost their lives.
Right.
You know, who would expect that? You know, who would expect Arabs to come to advanced flight simulator that commercial pilots use just to learn how to steer it? They don't want to know how to
How to land?
or take off. They just want to know how to steer it. That was a red flag right there. They called it FAA. The FAA said, they want to spend the money, take it.
They didn't think there would be anything behind it.
They didn't know. They just thought it was stupid.
What does this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, mean for you?
Remembering those people that aren't here anymore.
Particularly those who died in the line of service?
Yep.
Were there many of them in the Air Force during your time?
One B-52 blew up on takeoff. That was 10. Another B-52 is having mechanical trouble limping back in. And they lost communications, and they lost hydraulics. And the tail gunner has to jettison a tail pod to jump. And he jettisoned the tail pod, but he didn't realize he was jettisoning the drag chute. When he jumped, he was sucked right into the drag chute. And the pilot, then it pitched down. The pilot and co-pilot, they punched out. They were the only two that got out. His body was found in the drag chute, in the wreckage. And then 2 F-86s, these were young guys, and they'd been out on they call it ECI, where they have a target plane and then they vector them to the plane. They were coming back after their mission, coming down the rolling hills that come out of Yosemite, and one of them did a barrel roll too close to the ground. Wreckage 100 yards. Another one was bad weather coming in on GCA, which is ground controlled approach. It was before ILS and precision radar. We had him on course 1 mile from runway, and he came out on minimum fuel. He went to emergency fuel, which means no go around. 1 mile, center line, on course, ready. And for some reason he pulled up, flamed out, crashed, he was killed.